Hi everyone, Aguinaga here, and this week we're going to talk about goal setting. What is goal setting? Why is it so important? What does it lead to, etc. So, goal setting is the art of sitting down and asking yourself, what is important to me? What do I want to accomplish? And how am I going to get there? Okay? Now, a lot of people I find usually think too small. That's the first problem I see with most people's goals. They think, okay, well, I did this last year, so I'm going to do that again, and that's going to be my goal. That's okay if that's what you're striving for. However, in general, if you're looking to level up or if you want to move into the next stage of your life, setting a larger goal, or what some people refer to as a big, hairy, audacious goal, a BHAG, is a lot more exciting and you're going to get a lot more return. If you've ever heard Grant Cardone, he suggests that you typically 10x your initial goal. So if you wanted to make, let's say, $50,000, they say, well, why stop there? If you're going to be self-employed and have control over that metric, why don't we 10x that and aim to that? Now, it's very common to not actually hit that BHAG in the first year, and that's okay. I promise you that you will end up a lot closer to that number than you ever imagined possible if that's what you're really striving to, because you're no longer focusing on a smaller limitation, essentially. So it's super important to really set larger goals that are larger than life if you want to accomplish bigger things. Now, the next most important thing about goals is tracking. You have to track them consistently. You have to put in the effort to actually taking note to how many workouts you've done this week, this month, this year, how many clients you've met with, seen, closed, etc. How many calls you've made. Everything is trackable, and the more you track, the better results you're going to get. The other important thing about tracking things is that people say, hey, LJ, look, I have this self-employed business. I do this, things are going real great. I was like, fantastic. You have a self-employed business. You are doing this yourself. Are you tracking? And they say, no. Why would I be tracking? I know what I do. That's great. Well, once you're tracking, you can actually keep track of metrics. And once you have that down pat, well, you're probably going to start running a business because you're going to be able to start scaling and leveraging other people. You start hiring teams to take care of tasks that you're not great at and tasks that you don't like doing. And once you have the right people in the right places to take care of the right things, your business is actually going to start to grow, and you can eventually either sell the business, step out of the business, hire other people and just oversee. And that's when you turn from a self-employed person who's really just running your own show entirely, and you end up having a really big job where you make more money than you would have expected by somebody else, but you essentially have a job, it's just your own job, and you can actually start having a business. So that's the next scale, that's the next level. So goal setting is super important, keeping track of things is super important, and then understanding that you really, what are you heading to, where do you want to get, how do you want to get there, pardon me, and who do you need? Make sure you refer to my last video on mentors where you can see what your next step realistically is going to be to help you get there. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.